So here we are in our notebook. We have been studying the Articles of Confederation and looking at that first government that our country had in the new United States. It was our government during the American Revolution and then right after. And so we were able to see the strengths using the acronym UPHOLDS and then also the weaknesses using the acronym PACS. And so we also learned that it is because of these weaknesses our government is going to face some huge hurdles and some huge problems. We did do the Northwest Ordinance, knowing that that is the greatest strength that the Articles of Confederation had. That process for a territory to become a state, it laid out that idea that we could add other states into our country, and that's how we went from 13 to 50. So here we go. We should have something on Shae's Rebellion, a cartoon right there too, but we're going to go to the next blank page, and on this blank page, we're just going to do a quick cause and effect. But this is really important to us in understanding what went on. So here we go. I'm going to actually open all the way so you can see it a little bit better on my next blank page. All right. At the very top, I'm going to say the Declaration of Independence. We declared independence July 4th, 1776. We decided we no longer wanted to be a part of Great Britain. Because we declared independence on July 4th, 1776, that meant that we had no government. We were no longer a part of Great Britain. We had no king. And so that led us to need a government. And who do we know is going to write it? It is going to be written by our Second Continental Congress. There are representatives from the colonies. They're going to work together to hurry up and give us a new government, to make sure that we have a government during the Revolution and after. And so what are they going to give us? Well, they decide to give us a government in which they believe will be good for the American people. It is called the Articles of Confederation. And when they write this government, they do it with hopes for the future, but a fear of the past. And so with this fear of the past, they want to make sure that they have a weak central or national or federal. They're all the same thing. You have to recognize them as all the same. Central, national, federal. They're going to create a weak central government and a strong state governments. They are going to give most of the power to the states. They're going to make sure that the states have most power. One of the things that the representatives did not like under the king was that they lost their voice and they didn't have any power. And so they wanted to fix that in the Articles of Confederation. The only issue is that when they tried to fix it by giving that federal government no real power, that also meant that the federal government had no real ability to help. And so that leads us into the event called Shae's Rebellion. And so it was at Shae's Rebellion where we really start to see the problems come to light. The idea of no president. There was nobody there to enforce the law. Nobody there to say, hey, stop. You guys can't do that. You cannot lead this rebellion. You cannot go in and burn those buildings down. There was no army to stop them. and especially because Daniel Shays had been in the military. There were no courts. One of the things, Daniel Shays was upset about what was going on, and he definitely would have taken his government to court to discuss it. He was also upset with the federal government because he wasn't getting paid through the federal government whenever he had planted those crops to feed the troops. And part of the reason he wasn't paid was because the federal government had no ability to tax. And so this led to our states arguing and not really helping out Massachusetts with Shays' rebellion. And so, the question became, could they survive? And so, with some pleading from the representatives, they are going to decide to meet again in 1787, and their goal in 1787 is to revise the Articles of Confederation, but they realize it's not going to work, and instead they throw it out, and it leads us into the Constitutional Convention.